But today we have to talk about optimism because unlike the Wall Street era, the Optimism Airdrop era is not over. Now, a lot of you might have remembered that Optimism did an airdrop earlier on called Airdrop 1. However, today we'll be looking at why this will not be the only airdrop that is happening and going into how you can benefit from a potential airdrop and maximize your chances of qualifying. So let's jump right into today's video. First of all, we want to start with why the airdrop is not actually over. Now, this comes directly from Optimism's documentation on their token distribution. As you can see in this pie chart over here, a total of 19% of the total supply of Optimism is going to be given out to users via airdrops. 5% of the overall supply has been allocated to Airdrop 1, which has already concluded. Now that leaves 14% of the total supply of Optimism to be distributed in future airdrops. So guys, we're not even halfway through the airdrops that are available or going to be available on the Optimism network. And as a result, there should be a pretty good incentive for us to start considering looking at using the Optimism network. So today, we're going to have a look at how you can potentially qualify for future rounds of Optimism airdrops, because by the time that they are announced, it is probably going to be too late, because of course teams like the Optimism Foundation do not like people to game airdrops and basically make outsized profits, although in this case, it is highly likely that if you follow these steps, you could stand a good chance. So let's have a look at some of the ways that people have profited in the past and how you can potentially qualify for future airdrops. We do see that the Optimism team has come out with the documentation of which addresses are eligible and under which category. So here, the main categories that we need to pay attention to are the Optimism users, the repeat Optimism users, as well as the DAO voters, because these are the lowest hanging fruits that you can potentially qualify through. And of course, this makes up the bulk of the addresses that were eligible for the Airdrop 1. So first of all, Optimism users. This would be the people who made use of Optimism, their bridges, as well as their decentralized apps. And repeat Optimism users, well, that's self-explanatory, people who made multiple transactions within the Optimism ecosystem. The DAO voters, on the other hand, are those people who took part in governance on the Optimism chain. So on-chain governance participation does have a role to play here. Moving on, let's get to the part of the video that you actually want to watch, how to stand the best chance of qualifying for a future round of airdrop. So as I mentioned earlier, there were the Optimism users, the Optimism repeat users, and the DAO voters. So let's first start with the Optimism users and the Optimism repeat users. What you can do in this case is to go to optimism.io, which is Optimism's official website. Then you can go on to view all the apps and view what is going on in their ecosystem. Then from here, you can choose the different apps that you want to interact with. Now, one tip, of course, would be to prioritize the decentralized apps that have ongoing live incentives. The reason for this is that these apps have explicit support from the Optimism Foundation and are more likely to get you in a position to be able to qualify for future airdrops as an Optimism user or a repeat user. So this includes things like Lyra Finance, Synthetics, Thales, and Velodrome. So we covered Velodrome in a previous video on Optimism yield farming. Link will be down in the description below. But all you need to do is to participate in as many of these apps as possible. For example, on Lyra Finance, you can go ahead and make a trade. So you can also use apps like Synthetics and stake your tokens to earn some APR while you're waiting for a potential airdrop. Another popular way to earn yield while potentially qualifying yourself for an airdrop would be to use Velodrome. Velodrome allows you to earn pretty decent yields on various pools in the Optimism ecosystem. So this could be a way for you to not only qualify for the airdrop, but also yield farm for a longer period of time. Then you might also want to use apps like Hop Exchange, which allows you to bridge tokens between Ethereum mainnet and Optimism. And finally, you can go ahead and make use of potential double dip opportunities. These can be found in apps like Stargate, which is also part of the Layer 0 ecosystem. Now, Layer 0 is also speculated to come up with an airdrop of their own, so using Stargate to bridge between Optimism and Ethereum could potentially make you qualify for 2 airdrops in one go. A similar thing can be said for a cross protocol, which is yet another bridge that allows you to make transactions between Optimism and various other chains. We've covered these various airdrop potential opportunities in separate videos that will link down in the description below. So all in all, I hope this video has been informative and useful. If you like this video, do consider leaving a like and subscribing to this channel. If you want to see more such content with a whole range of content covering airdrops as well as the hottest crypto news lined up and on the way. So do stay tuned for more. With that being said, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.